another United States military base in Honduras.
Yeah.
Within weeks, Asfura is in Israel meeting with Netanyahu, then straight to Washington to meet with Rubio and Trump. Próspera came and sued the Honduras and for 10 billion, which is more than a third of Honduras's entire GDP. With investment circles, and they are very positive about the expansion of the ICSID in Roatán and Comayagua. We're also building a center for the confinement of terrorism, and we're also going to hand over the interoceanic corridor to General Electric. The Chinese were bidding, but we are not going to give in. But it looks like Trump sold a pardon to a foreign country. The previous president, Xiomara Castro, interesting last name, but it draws ire from people. Here she is. She's really based. She fought this ZEDE tooth and nail. She tried to shut them down. She said they violated their sovereignty. In 2022, the Honduran National Congress voted unanimously to abolish the framework. And so Próspera came and sued the Honduras.
Yeah.
And for 10 billion, which is more than a third of Honduras's entire GDP.
Yeah.
So the first thing Nasry Asfura does after Trump interfered in the election, he takes office in January 2026. He rejoins the ICSID, which is what Castro withdrew from in 2024. And the door opens back up for Próspera's $10 billion lawsuit. Within weeks, Asfura is in Israel meeting with Netanyahu, then straight to Washington to meet with Rubio and Trump officials. And in the leaked audio recordings, Asfura confirms what they are building. This is a quote from his recording on 10 February 2026. We already had a private session with investment circles, and they are very positive about the expansion of the ICSID in Roatán and Comayagua. Regarding Palmarola, we're going to move another Palmarola project specifically to Roatán, where Próspera is located, a base. We've already negotiated that. We're also going to hand over the interoceanic corridor to General Electric. The Chinese were bidding, but we are not going to give in. Another United States military base in Honduras.
Yeah, so that's what Palmarola is, the base. That's where the U.S. Military's had a base there. Good God, 40 years, 41, 42 years. So it's located halfway between sort of Tegucigalpa in the south and San Pedro Sula in the north, and about another hour south of Lake Yohoa. So if you look at a map of Honduras, right in the middle is this big ass lake. Used to be tremendous bass fishing. It's been fished out, but south of that is Palmarola. So in my understanding that the ZEDES is basically a free trade zone. Is that what they're talking about building?
Yes.
And they'll get a base to protect it.
Yeah. So this is this looks like some classic money laundering operation on some grand scale.
Yeah.
Because you already you have the Colón Free Trade Zone. So the Colón Free Trade Zone from Honduras is about 400 miles south, and it sits at the north end of the Panama Canal. If people don't realize, you think Panama Canal runs east to west. It runs north to south. And so the Colón Free Trade Zone was at one point the second largest free trade zone in the world. It was second only to Hong Kong. Now I think it's fallen off somewhat, but until 28 February, the second largest, I believe, was Jebel Ali in the United Arab Emirates. But in light of that war, they're not doing too much activity there anymore. So, but it begs the question: why a free trade zone there? I mean, it's not like it's at some crucial location. It's off the coast of Honduras. Honduras has always been a backwater. And you've got the Colón Free Trade Zone. You've got, and then you got the Mexican port Veracruz. Yeah, just because let's put any free trade zone there. Okay, the ships are going to have to come to unload products, and what products are you going to sell? domestic, household electronics like rice cookers, coffee makers, irons. Are you going to sell maybe to Samsung televisions, whatever? Okay, that all comes from Asia. And to get there, they have to sell through the Panama Canal, which is why when ships come through the Panama Canal, right there at the north end of it, there's this entire city, Colón, which is it's nothing but just a mass of shops, retail, wholesale items, every product in the world you can imagine. So they're doing this off the coast of Honduras. It makes no sense. And the infrastructure, just the infrastructure there alone, like you got a lot of people that work in the Colón Free Trade Zone. Where the hell are they going to get all these people? Roatán's not a big ass island. It's a relatively small island. And then, are you going to, the people that come and staff the free trade zones, the different offices?
They're also building a center for the confinement of terrorism in Tegucigalpa, modeled on CCOT.
Tegucigalpa, have you ever flown in there by chance?
No.
Okay. So the approach to the runway is down. You got a mountain slope like this, so the plane's flying down the slope of the mountain. Little kids will stand there and throw rocks at airplanes. They have hit airplanes with rocks from the ground. I kid you not.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So Tegucigalpa, a terrorism holding cell. Yeah, that's what we need.
All right, so that's just the beginning. We're at the tip of the iceberg. So we're gonna play the confession. This is like the meat and potatoes of this. This is Juan Hernández's own confession to interference.
Bueno, me gusta oír el mensaje de unidad. Bueno, leer el mensaje de unidad. Yo estoy feliz con el simple hecho de que me hayan contestado. Ahora bien, mi respuesta formal es esta. Yo no voy a apoyar, pero ni un poquito, lo que han dicho sobre mí, ni lo que me han ofrecido. Yo voy a empezar fuertemente a acusar con nombre y apellido a los que están truncándome todo mi proceso de regreso a Honduras. También les conseguí el contacto de las petroleras, les conseguí el contacto de las empresas, les conseguí todo. Y a mí no me están revolviendo, pero ni una pista de toda la situación que yo pedí. El dinero del indulto, ni queda luz de usted. Ni queda luz de usted. Salió de una junta de rabinos y de una gente que apoyaba a Israel. Yo voy a ganar las elecciones.
So I think you were onto something when you said some money exchanged some hands for that pardon, but it came from the rabbis, apparently.
Yeah. Hey, a blessing on your house, mazel tov, mazel tov.
Very good reference. I love it, Larry.
Yeah,
I love it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we're dealing with heavy, and what do you know of any of Juan Hernández's connections to Israel or
Well, all I recall is just that from early on, Honduras was seen sort of as a reliable UN vote for Israel.
Israel. Yeah.
Within the politics, I never, and I'm thinking back to 86. So I was the Honduran from 86 through 89. I don't recall it back then with seeing much Israeli influence. There, Honduras at that point was it was like the land-based aircraft carrier for the CIA, because the CIA was running operations against the Sandinistas from bases in Honduras, in the southern part, as well as from Swan Island. And then it was that was back when Honduras was one of the top four foreign policy priorities of the U.S. government. That time, President Reagan. So, they had tremendous access, a lot of money flowing through there.
So it looks like Trump sold a pardon to a foreign country, or at least some people that might have some foreign allegiance to another country.
Just think of it as a charitable donation.